Conservative new media viewers and Jeremy Lin fans all over the world, what is up? It is me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to update even further latest information and rumors regarding Jeremy, Dwight Howard, and what might be happening in terms of Jeremy and the team. It is right now 8:32 p.m. on Saturday, June 29th, 2013, which means it is, I believe, 8:32 a.m. in Taipei, Taiwan on Sunday, June 30th, just to give you a sense of the time frame of when I'm making this video. All right, let's start right from the beginning. The last video I made, as most of you know, was about the writer Mark Deeks, I believe his first name is, writing about how the Rockets supposedly wanted to deal Jeremy Lin, trade him, dump him, get rid of him. Now, there's been an update in that. Someone mentioned this, I believe it was Samat Gibson, the commenter, and I also saw it over on ClutchFans myself. Deeks is a ClutchFan member, and I believe his username on the site is Sham, S-H-A-M, Sham. And I believe that corresponds with his website, which is like Sham Sports, I think. Anyway, what I believe Deeks said in updating the story, in addressing the story, was that it does not seem like his source was a member of the Houston Rockets. What it seems like, or what he said, was his source for that story was another team's general manager, I believe. Another team's GM or part of their front office personnel. And so the way in which Deeks would know that Houston was trying to get rid of Jeremy would be that that front office person from the other team would be aware. Maybe Houston or Daryl Morey called them and said, yeah, are you interested in Jeremy Lin? So that would be how Deeks could have a source, but not have a source within the Rockets organization. That doesn't surprise me. Now, in my video about this story, I assumed that Deeks had a source within the Rockets organization, but that apparently was a mistake. Still, it doesn't matter, right? If the information is true, it's true regardless of where it came from. However, it changes the perspective on what Deeks was writing about. In other words, it's not necessarily the case then, as Deeks said, that Houston thinks Jeremy's not that good. They know Beverly's better. They want to get Beverly a spot. You might assume that. That might be inferred from their wanting to get rid of Jeremy, but it's not necessarily true. In other words, they might want to get rid of Jeremy because they need the money. They need the money so they can sign Dwight Howard to a max, so they can go after potentially Josh Smith, who is Dwight Howard's friend who plays for the Atlanta Hawks. We don't know. So I'm a little bit more reassured after hearing what Deeks had to say. I'm a little more positive towards the Rockets organization after I found out it was not somebody in the organization who was Deeks' source. I told you guys, after I did the critique of what Rajon Rondo had wrote for Red 94, where he did talk to somebody in the Rockets organization, and they had some things to say about Jeremy that weren't incredibly flattering, although they were accurate. Then I was thinking, well, this might be the Rockets might be engaging in a systematic series of leaks here to make sure the whole world knows they want to get rid of Jeremy Lin. But that's not the case. The only way that would be the case in this circumstance would be if Daryl Morey or whoever called the rival GM and said, yeah, I want you to put it out that we're dealing Jeremy Lin. It's okay if you tell people that. Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. Is it likely? I doubt that. I don't think that's accurate, but you never know. So just to come back to my original point, I don't think the Rockets are trying to systematically leak stuff to put down Jeremy Lin or make it look like they're shopping him. I take that back a little bit. I thought that might have been the case. Now it looks like it might not be the case. Look, it doesn't matter. If they want to get rid of Jeremy or they think they need to get rid of Jeremy, they're still going to get rid of him, whether or not they let everybody know they're going to get rid of him. So we'll see what happens. Now, second point. It has been said and reported that Houston's going to send a number of representatives out to Southern California to meet with Dwight Howard tomorrow, Sunday, June 30th, 2013, as soon as midnight Eastern time hits in the United States, which means 9 p.m. in California, Sunday night. Dwight Howard is allowed to start meeting with representatives of other teams because he is then officially a free agent. That group of people is going to include Akeem Olajuwon, Daryl Morey, I believe, owner Les Alexander, James Harden, and Chandler Parsons, among others. Jeremy's not going. And as a couple of you have put in the comments, and as I know, the Anybody But Jeremy crowd over at ClutchFans, the ABJ crowd, as we call them, as ClutchFans and all over the internet, they're thrilled. This is more evidence that Jeremy's going to be traded, that Jeremy's going to be gone. Now, is that true? Well, it's not a good thing. If you're a person who wants Jeremy to stay on the Rockets, it's not good. He's not going on that trip. Because there is the implied thing that, well, if he were going to be on the team, he'd be going on the trip. So there might be something to that. Now, I told you guys in a recent video, and I don't remember exactly which one it was because I made a couple in the last few days. I told you guys that Jeremy was recently in Houston. And it wasn't clear, at least to me, why he was in Houston. Nobody seemed to know the reason why he was in Houston. Now, obviously, Jeremy, I'm sure, has an apartment in Houston, and, you know, maybe there was an event or he had to do something. I don't know. However, when you start looking at what's happening and the rumors that are out there about Jeremy, I'm starting to wonder if that trip to Houston for Jeremy might have been to meet with the organization at the organization's request for them to tell him, you know, Jeremy, we might have to deal you. We might have to trade you because we're going after Dwight Howard and we might need to get rid of your contract. I don't know. But when you're seeing these different things, it's starting to come to my mind like, yeah, I wonder if that's what happened. I wonder if that's why Jeremy was in Houston at that period of time. So we'll see. That could be another piece of the puzzle here in terms of trying to figure out what the organization's doing and when they made that decision, etc. Now, there is also information out today. And I'll get stuff on all these things and put them links in the video description below the video player so you can check them out as fast as I can after this video goes up. Thomas Robinson, the power forward, apparently was seen in the Boston airport today. So now there's more speculation. Is Thomas Robinson going to get traded to Boston? Is Thomas Robinson going to get traded to Boston with Jeremy Lin to get back Rajon Rondo? There is now a rumor out there that Houston might be interested in getting Rajon Rondo. If they get Rajon Rondo, then you would certainly expect Jeremy's going to be traded, and probably in that trade to Boston. Now, Boston they're freeing themselves of assets. They just got rid of Kevin Garnett. They just got rid of Paul Pierce. They just got rid of Jason Terry. They're freeing up their salary cap for the future. They're clearing space. They're getting rid of guys. The last guy to get rid of is Rajon Rondo. It is also being said the Dallas Mavericks are interested in Rajon Rondo. Now, look, Rondo's a heck of a player. I like him tremendously. He's better than Jeremy, even though he's not a better shooter than Jeremy, at least from 15 feet out. But Rondo's a proven player. He's a champion, and he's a heck of a player. This also goes to something that Dwight Howard apparently said, or his camp put out in the last day or two. It was something along the lines of Dwight would rather play with the point guard getting him the ball than a shooting guard. And, it seemed like a little bit of a shot at not a shot, but a little bit of a warning signal that he might want someone besides James Harden handling the ball all the time. Or he might want to play in a circumstance where the point guard's handling the ball all the time and not the shooting guard. Well, in Houston, we know James Harden handles the ball a lot. So that can be interpreted as he doesn't want to play in Houston. It could be interpreted as he wants to play in Houston, but with a better point guard that's going to have the ball more, like Rondo. It could be interpreted as he wants to play somewhere else. He wants to play in Dallas, and Dallas is rumored and interested in Rajon Rondo too. So what I said to you guys yesterday was, it had been mentioned by someone on ClutchFans, like a month ago, that if Dwight Howard came to Houston, Jeremy Lin might not be around very long. And I'm starting to think more and more that Dwight Howard might not be a big fan of Jeremy Lin, the basketball player. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I don't think Dwight Howard has said anything about trying to keep Jeremy Lin on the team. Now, we know he supposedly said that he wanted to keep Ashik on the team, but nothing about Jeremy. And I said this when I made the video a while ago, mentioning that guy's report. If Jeremy Lin goes from Houston, it could be because of Dwight Howard. And, Dwight Howard, and I don't blame Dwight Howard. I understand where Dwight's coming from. Dwight's trying to get the team that he wants. And if you have leverage, if you're the free agent and the teams have to try to satisfy your demands, get as many demands as you can get. You want Rondo? Try to get Rondo. You don't want Lin? Well, try to get rid of Lin. But it doesn't seem like Dwight Howard's a big believer in Jeremy Lin, based upon everything that we've seen with these maneuvers. And even if Dwight was a fan of Jeremy Lin, the player, they do seem to be friends off the court or get along well anyway. The Rockets still might have to deal Jeremy so they have enough money to sign Howard to a max and possibly go after another star player like Rondo or Howard's friend Josh Smith. So Jeremy seems to be the odd man out in this equation. It's unfortunate. I know I would like to see Jeremy stay on this team. I would like to see Jeremy play for a contender. As I've told you guys last year, at the beginning of last year, after the Harden deal was made, the Lin haters are thrilled, were upset because they don't want Jeremy to play with good players because it helps him and makes him look better if he's on a good team. The Lin haters, if he goes to a bad team and puts up big numbers, then what they're going to say is, he's playing on a garbage team. They're happy because then he's far away from success in a team framework. Now, I know somebody has said to me, I can't remember who it was, and I know a few people feel this way, but I know someone said this in the comments of a recent video. Paul, why do you talk about the Lin Haters so much? Because you have to understand, and if you understand the Lin Haters, you'll understand why Jeremy's gone through so much, why he's been overlooked, why he's been dissed. You have to understand how the opponent thinks and what motivates them. And the flip side of that is what's going to help Jeremy. So whatever's going to help Jeremy, that's what the haters don't want. So understanding what's going to help Jeremy means I'm automatically understand what the haters don't want for Jeremy. There's no reason not to say that or for me to explain that. When I explain that, that helps Lin's fans understand why haters say some of what they say, because they take different angles. And part of why I talk about them is to give you guys an understanding of where those haters are coming from, so that when you see them writing stuff, you know what the angle is, and so you can defeat it. That's why I talk about them so much. I don't care about them. I'm used to them. They're not going away. Believe me, Jeremy is well aware of them. He's dealt with them his entire career. He's over it. I mean, he doesn't like it, just like he doesn't like being doubted, but he accepts it. I accept them. I don't care. I'm trying to help you guys understand them and how they think, so that when you when you get into debates with them, you know how to beat them, because this is how they're thinking. I see people on ClutchFans all the time. I saw it today. There was someone over there, an Anbody But Jeremy guy, who was just, going off on fans and making fun of them. He thinks Jeremy's gone. And, I see the fans, Jeremy's fans, get all upset. And so I talk about the haters so that the fans of Jeremy don't get upset. They know where they know where the haters coming from, and they know how to deal with them and what to say. That's why I talk about them. That's it. I mean, like I said, other than that, I wouldn't give them any run at all. I could care less. These are, and that's it. I mean, that's basically what it is. Okay. Now, True picked the commenter. Put a comment in the last video, in the Meeks video, the original one about Houston wants to dump Jeremy, saying, Paul, tell your listeners, tell your viewers not to hate Houston. It's a good point. Look, you guys know how I feel. I'm disappointed in Houston because of how it looks like they're treating Jeremy right now. It's silly to me to welcome a guy back last year, apologize to him, give him a big deal, and now you want to get rid of him. It's just like, what is that? I mean, that just, it doesn't look like something that's done by a competent organization. So it annoys me. And I don't want Jeremy to go, so it really annoys me. However, Picked has a point. The point is this. Owner Les Alexander has made Jeremy rich. Jeremy got a big deal, and that deal is valid. He's going to get paid that money, no matter what, I believe. And so it's, $25 million. Jeremy's set. If you have 20 now, obviously there's taxes and stuff like that. Believe me, Jeremy's set now for his life. Now, of course, you can make more money and stuff, but now he's set. Now there's no more sleeping on the couch and all this stuff. So we got to be thankful to the Rockets and Les Alexander because of that. They did pay Jeremy. Jeremy got paid, and that's good. He got paid more than he would have gotten paid in New York or anywhere else. So that is something to be grateful to the Houston Rockets for. And as Picked also said, they did give Jeremy the opportunity. He did start the whole year, and that's good. That's also good. That was the first time Jeremy started anywhere for the whole season. So those are things to be thankful for towards Houston. Even if we're not happy with them now, even if the their judgment looks uncertain at this point. Although, like I said, look, if you have to get rid of Jeremy Lin to get Dwight Howard, you're going to do that. And if that means that you got to get rid of Jeremy, so you got to get Dwight Howard's buddy so he signs, you're going to do that. So I understand that. That's not uncertain judgment. That's a business decision. You got to do that because you're getting Dwight Howard. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's a good point that Pick said, and I want to give him credit for that. And also, I want to give the Rockets organization credit. They did do the right thing last summer, and Jeremy benefited because of that, and that's good. That's definitely good. Now, finally, let me just say this. A lot of people, again, and I know that Lin fans are being baited by Lin haters all over the internet right now. You can see it in the comments of our videos. You can see it on ClutchFans. You can see it everywhere. Why the Lin haters think they're going to win. The Anybody But Jeremy crowd thinks they're finally going to get rid of Jeremy, and they're all happy, and they're celebrating, they're bullying Lin fans. Okay, I understand that. Look, remember, you're fans of Lin. Try to do what Jeremy would do. Now you're experiencing what Jeremy's gone through his whole basketball career. People doubting you, people making fun of you, people messing with you, people trying to play you out. You see how Jeremy deals with it. Classy. He's classy. Never complains. Deals with it with grace. That's what we should try to do. I was at ClutchFans the other day, or the video I made yesterday. Look, I'm at peace with this. If Houston wants to let him go, let him go. Let him go play somewhere else where they want him, and he can play and do his thing. So don't let the haters and the doubters get you upset. They're trying to upset you. The way that you beat people who want to upset you is you don't get upset. And then they are very unhappy because they were going to get your goat. You're disappointed. Just don't respond to it. That doesn't mean you can't talk. Doesn't mean you can't make comments in the thread. Don't get all upset. That's what they want you to do. If you do that, they win. And there's no reason to do that. Like I said, Jeremy never gave in to his haters, never gave in to his doubters, never complained, never went off in the media. Nope. Never going to do that. One, it's not the right thing to do. And two, he's not going to give, you're not going to give the detractors any satisfaction. So that's what I would tell you as fans. Anybody but Jeremy is going to be out there looking for that, trying to get you to do that. Don't do it. Try to do what Jeremy would do. Do your own thing, and you'll feel better that way. So that's my advice with that. So, all right, that's it. That's the latest update. This is a fluid situation. Obviously, Houston's meeting with Dwight tomorrow. Dwight's going to meet with another couple teams in the next few days, so we'll know more soon. We'll keep updating. Look, I think that if it becomes clearer that Dwight's going to come to Houston, and I think there's a very good chance he is going to come to Houston, then I think we'll start hearing more and more about Lin and where he might be going if Houston feels they have to get rid of him in order to bring in Dwight Howard or somebody else that Dwight Howard wants to play with. So I expect that there's going to be more news to come shortly. Dwight Howard has said, I believe, that he wants to make his decision about where to play by July 10th. So that's not very far from now, in 10, 11, 12 days. All of this should be getting resolved or moved along pretty quickly. So stay tuned, hang in there. Look, if Jeremy goes somewhere else, it doesn't mean he can't do well. Houston last year was the toughest circumstance he could have been in. New team, new coach, new system. Leg wasn't healed yet. Offensive system that was as far away from what he was good at as possible, and he didn't have the ball in his hand a lot of times. So even if he goes to a new team next year, it's not going to be as difficult of a transition. I can tell you that right now. It wouldn't be fun. Maybe he doesn't get to start or something, but I think you're going to now see steady progress in Jeremy's career. He's got his money. He's got his health. Now he's working on his game. I think you will see steady improvements in his game, regardless of where he's at. And even if he's not starting, hopefully he will be starting. I think you're going to see him improve considerably. The same way that we saw his three-point shooting improve considerably during the 2012-2013 season. So that's it. Stay positive. We're going to win this one. Jeremy's going to win. I've never doubted that, ever. You guys know that. So that's it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Your comments below. Again, I am Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Someone's actually hitting me up on my cell phone right now as I make this video. Thanks for watching Conservative Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. We will talk with you again soon, and I'll see you in the comments. I know I haven't answered everybody's comments. It's just, I'm just really busy right now, but I'll do the best I can. Take care. See you soon.